And welcome to your Need to Know for June 5th, coming to you from Meadow Mill. I'm Amanda. This is Alan. Join us here every Tuesday at 12:30 for your weekly news roundup and a discussion of current events. Feel free to comment and ask us questions in the fields below. Alan, long time no chat.
Long time.
I see you're distracted by the tennis game that's on next to you.
Tennis game here.
Don't watch tennis. We're busy right now. We're working. So we had a few weeks off, which was actually really nice.
Staycation.
We had a office-cation. JBiz editor Betsy Boyd filled in for us, and she talked to Jonathan Walks, Alan Hirsch, and Laura Wexler, and they were all really great. I hope you guys enjoyed that. We have one more JBiz-related guest stopping by next week. Mm-hmm. Former Howard County Executive Ken Ullman will talk to us about our upcoming June 13th event. Right. In the meantime,
which he's serving as the moderator.
He's the moderator for the panel discussion, which is one part of the event. There's also a VIP reception, and there's a d'oeuvres, and there's mingling and networking. It's all goodness.
All good fun.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Good, clean fun.
Yeah, I guess it'll be clean. All right. So
we hope.
Let's talk some news, and let's get started with Israel.
Right, Israel, of course. Well, Israel has ruled that it will not recognize Uganda's Jewish community, according to an Israeli newspaper report. The Interior Ministry denied the request of a Ugandan Jew, Kibbutz Yosef, to immigrate to Israel, according to Haaretz. The ministry said Yosef, who is staying at a kibbutz in southern Israel, had to leave the country by June 14th. Mm. The Ugandan community numbers around 2,000 and traces its roots to the early 20th century. Most members were converted under U.S. conservative rabbis and are not recognized as Jewish by Israel's mostly Haredi Orthodox chief rabbinate. In December, Israel denied a visa application by a member of the community to study at a yeshiva in Israel, leading to accusations of racism. This week, the chief rabbinate published a list of draft criteria for religious courts in the diaspora to have its conversions accepted in the Jewish state. If enacted, Jewish converts in America may face additional hurdles in being recognized as Jewish by the chief rabbinate. So what this really means is the group in Uganda, they call themselves the Abu Daya. I forget what that means. But it's even broader than them, because this could affect people who come from America, from all kinds of places, and we dealt with this in the late '80s with the "Who Was a Jew" controversy. This is messy stuff, and it can also cause a rift between Israel and the diaspora. So this is important stuff.
And it's unfortunate when one sort of majority party or a group gets to decide what everyone else is, or put their own expectations and sort of ideals onto everyone else and decide, oh no, that means you're not a Jew.
Right.
And it's all good and well to say you don't recognize them, but there's at least 2,000 of them, so they're there. Whether or not you recognize it or not, they exist. Right.
But from the Orthodox power structure's perspective, they are not Jewish because it was not an Orthodox conversion.
Yeah.
It's not a conversion that they recognize.
Doesn't count.
So this is very complicated, messy stuff, and it goes deeper than just the Ugandan Jewish community. And it goes to the whole power structure in Israel and, the religious power structure in particular.
Yep. All right. Well, that's unfortunate. So here's the latest from Roseanne Barr, my fellow Jewish Utahn, who is not representing our 12 people well.
Right.
All 12 of us.
As I was telling you before, Jason Alexander performed at Beth Tefillah last night. He was fabulous, of course. But he brought up Utah, and he was talking about how non-Jews can't say the ch sound for Hebrew words. And he said, so you can tell that Utah was not founded by Jews because it would have been Utah.
Utah.
Right.
Yes,
so,
I'm one of those. That. I'm from Utah.
There you go. And Roseanne as well.
Roseanne also.
Well, Roseanne Barr reportedly cried and apologized for her racist tweet in a podcast in an interview with Rabbi Shmuley Boteach.
Boteach.
That's right.
That's right.
Barr was sobbing and very apologetic about the whole thing, according to the Hollywood Reporter. Mm-hmm. Rabbi Boteach did not air the interview. The call in to the podcast came 2 days after ABC canceled Roseanne's show over the tweet attacking Valerie Jarrett, a former advisor to President Barack Obama. Mm-hmm. Barr later deleted the tweet, which drew widespread criticism, and issued an apology saying that she had made a bad joke about her politics and her looks, meaning Ms. Jarrett.
Who's African American.
And of course, she also swore she would never use Twitter again.
Oh.
Barr and Boteach, a rabbi to the stars, have been friends for 20 years. Very
Interesting.
close with Michael Jackson.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah, that's right.
Is he the one
maybe a
that
chimp,
got
too.
Madonna all into?
I think he was also a rabbinical advisor to Madonna when she was going through her Kabbalah phase.
Yeah.
That's right.
I think I remember that.
Roseanne has not given any in-depth interviews on her tweets or her firing. Boteach tweeted about the interview. I did record a podcast with my friend at the Real Roseanne, and I have decided not to release it out of respect for Roseanne. Very nice. Mm-hmm. I want to give her space to reflect on the recent events, and releasing the recording is a decision she will make at the appropriate time.
Okay.
He also deleted, quote, I have known
Tweeted.
the Real Roseanne. I'm sorry?
You said deleted. You meant tweeted.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have. He also tweeted, right? I have known at the Real Roseanne for 20 years. She has apologized for what she acknowledges is a violation of Torah values and the spirit of Jewish repentance. It is time that America learn to forgive so that we may together affirm the image of God and equal dignity of all humankind. Now, of course, if she's going to ask for forgiveness, she probably needs to ask not only Valerie Jarrett and the American people, but also George Soros, who, of course, is a wealthy businessman and liberal lightning rod for conservatives. And she said that he's a Hungarian Jewish Holocaust survivor, but she said that he profited off the 6 million, and of course.
Yeah, that's a horrible thing to say.
So she probably should ask forgiveness from him too.
Right. She seems like she needs to decide whether or not she wants to claim being Jewish or doesn't want to claim, because she seems to go in and out.
Really? I always thought she was pretty open about her Jewishness.
Yeah, but then she attacks Jews and says all sorts of really anti-Semitic things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe she's a self-loathing Jew, as they say.
She's one of them.
I know she took classes with the Mormons too when she was a kid in Utah.
Well, I mean, that's unavoidable.
Right.
Take it from one who knows. You're just there. You're there, and everything's gonna be Mormon. So
right.
But
Makes sense.
But I will say on air, I'll say this: the JCC and the Jewish community in Salt Lake City is really strong and really tight, because you kind of have to be, right. That's your whole community there. So they did great programs. There were, it's small, but it was strong.
Right. I think she's been, to go back to what you said, I think she's always been pretty open about her Jewishness. I just think she does really bizarre things. Like
I think so
in
too.
2009 for Hebe magazine, she dressed up as Hitler baking cookies.
Which is odd.
And
it's an odd thing to do.
It's a little odd.
But also Hebe apparently made the decision, right?
Well, they're an irreverent magazine, and they try to do things like that, and that's fine. But I don't know if she's a self-hating Jew or what she is, but to call out a Holocaust survivor, even one whose politics you disagree with, and to say that he profited off of the deaths of millions of Holocaust victims is just abominable.
This whole situation is very odd.
It's nasty stuff.
It is. If you're just joining us, this is Jay Moore's Need to Know on Facebook Live. Share, like, and follow at hashtag Jay Moore Need to Know. Now, for one more person I'm supremely disappointed in.
Just one?
Just this next one. They say you're always loyal to your first candidate. It's getting harder and harder.
Well, former President Bill Clinton said his public apology for his affair with White House intern Monica Lewinsky was enough. Dayenu. NBC's Today Show correspondent Craig Melvin asked Clinton in an interview that aired on June 4th if he had ever apologized to Lewinsky, who was 22 at the time, and she was Clinton's subordinate when they began a torrid affair more than 2 decades ago. Clinton said, I apologize to everybody in the world, which is a very broad.
He just blanket apology.
Yeah.
Cover everyone.
Melvin followed up the question by asking Clinton if he had ever apologized privately to Lewinsky. Clinton said, I have never talked to her. Clinton made his public apology in 1998 during the National Prayer Breakfast when he said, I don't think there is a fancy way to say that I have sinned. It is important to me that everybody who has been hurt know that the sorrow I feel is genuine. My family, also my friends, my staff, my cabinet, Monica Lewinsky and her family, and the American people. Clinton and author James Patterson, who's written 9,000 books?
Everything.
A year, appeared on Today's Show to promote their co-authored novel, The President is Missing. So is the president's conscience missing on this matter?
Oh, wow. Are you going to read the book?
Probably not.
I might, if I find it in a remainder bin or something. But Yeah, he was my first candidate. I got elected. I did that.
Was there merit?
My vote got him elected.
Is there merit to what he says that he already apologized to her?
I mean, he did sort of, but like the whole thing, it was all about how smooth he was with words, right? I mean, he invented the whole I did not have sexual relations. Right. There's all legal terms. He did all of that, and we didn't have those in our lexicon until he started speaking in that manner and using the sneaky its and theys, so it's ambiguous. You don't know exactly what you're referring to. But she has said that she feels like she has PTSD from the whole relationship, and that in light of Me Too, she's viewing the whole thing in a different perspective. Of course, we don't really entirely know everything that went on there. There could, there's conspiracy theories. There's all sorts of
Foster.
There's movies. But it's still, I mean, I had so much faith in Bill, and it's upsetting.
Well, I think this is another one of these situations where technically he's right. He's apologized to her, but there's something about how he just doesn't seem to get it still. That what he did was wrong, and it's hard to put your finger on, because technically he's saying the right thing, but he doesn't still seem to understand that he was a 48-year-old man. I don't know how old he was at the time, and she was a 22-year-old kid who was under his influence. So and technically, I guess her boss too.
Right.
So he doesn't still seem to get that. I think that's why people find his comments, his most recent comments, a little disconcerting.
Yeah, it is. It's like just own it.
But I do think she needs to maybe get a life.
Oh wow, yeah. Well,
and go away, and
she only surfaces every once in a while for something like this.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
And I'm not gonna get into the whole other everything else. But yes, that happened, and I had so much hope. I believed in a place called Hope. I had so much.
Yep.
So there's also some Starbucks-related news today.
Starbucks-related news. Yes, the founder and executive chairman of Starbucks, Howard Schultz, is stepping down. Mm-hmm. Schultz, who previously served as the coffee giant CEO, is leaving his position at the end of June, according to New York Times. In an interview with the Times, Schultz, a Democrat who has publicly criticized President Trump, did not deny speculation that he was considering a political run.
Interesting.
I want to be careful with you without creating more speculative headlines, he said. For some time now, I've been deeply concerned about our country, the growing division at home, and our standing in the world. One of the things I want to do in my next chapter is figure out if there's a role I can play in giving back. I'm not sure what exactly that means yet. Hint, hint.
Right.
Wink, wink. So I asked you this before. Do you think this is because of Philly?
I can't believe Philly would be enough to make him either some board or something tell him to step down, or would make him feel like he needed to. He's done a lot of really good work. They have promoted LGBT causes. They have done equal rights things. And I think one thing that we tend to forget in this country for some reason, it is not the United States of Starbucks. They are not a branch of our government. They're a store.
Drop by the Belloc Diner.
Selling. Aw, pour one out for Belloc. I do like what they did on the wall, though. They put the little Belloc sign.
Oh, brother.
They did that. That was nice. They gave
what
a little
nice
homage.
Little token. Knock down an historic treasure and then put a little picture of it.
I mean, what happened in Philly was wrong. It was one store selling coffee. It was not some legislative branch.
Right.
So I think we should remember that. And I would be curious about a run from him, some sort of office.
I think we need maybe people in the White House who have actually served in other offices previously.
Yeah, we haven't had that for a while. I forgot that that's how it used to go. I forgot about that.
So even if you're the CEO of Starbucks.
You can run a coffee company does not mean you can run our country.
Right.
Even though apparently we all want them to be part of our country.
But I know a lot of people like Howard Schultz. They're very fond of him. So
yeah, I think he's done some good work.
Mm-hmm.
So unusually, we have really good news on the local front. 2 pieces of it.
Yes.
Imagine that.
Yeah, the Book of Joseph has become Everyman Theater's highest-grossing show. Having previously broken Everyman Theater's all-time advance sales record, it unseated August Wilson's Fences. Wow. As the theater's highest grossing play in 28 years, according to press release.
Incredible.
The play, directed by Everyman Theater Associate Artistic Director Noah Himmelstein, is based on the life of Joseph A. Hollander and his family. Now, Rich Hollander, of course, was a media personality here in Baltimore, and people know him in the Jewish community quite well, and also the father-in-law of my old intern, Jenny Steinhardt. So this is a family that has some pedigree here in Jewish Baltimore.
Roots, yep.
The cast includes Everyman regulars Megan Anderson, Danny DeGavigan, Beth Hilton, Will Love, and of course, the Everyman's Everyman, Bruce Randolph Nelson.
Exactly.
The show runs through June 10th, 2018. Go to everymantheater.org for tickets. You can also read more about the show at jmoreliving.com. And also, running till June 10th is Soul,
which you wrote about.
Which I wrote about.
Did you love it?
The music is awesome, because Stax.
It's hard not to be. It's everyone.
Right. I thought that the storyline, although it's based on the reality of the situation, I thought the dialogue was a little thin, but it was a wonderful show. And certainly, if you get a chance and you love Stax Records music, go see it.
Yeah. All right. Tell them quickly about the library.
That's center stage.
About my library finds. It's up here.
Oh, right. We skipped over that.
I know.
Okay.
Don't skip that. It's good news.
Well, the Enoch Pratt Free Library is joining a small but growing list of library systems in major cities that are doing away with fines for patrons. The Pratt is restoring borrowing privileges to more than 13,000 patrons with overdue fine balances on their accounts. Wow.
I know.
That's great. Crazy, but great.
It's strange, but it's good news.
Now they're doing it. Well, now I don't owe them any money. Great. The library will forgive all fines for overdue items as long as you eventually return them in good condition, which is very subjective.
Right.
And without any damage.
Eventually.
Right.
Like whenever you get to it.
Heidi Daniel, the library system's president and CEO, said in a statement, "We know fines are a barrier to access for thousands of Baltimore City residents. We want to break down that barrier." Amen. The Pratt collects $100,000 annually from overdue fines, so it's not chump change.
Yeah, that's enough money to do something with, but apparently it's not worth it.
That represents about 1/4% of Enoch Pratt's annual budget of $40 million. Wow. So, they need that money.
Yeah.
We spend more trying to collect the fines, Gordon Crabb, the Pratt's chief operating officer, said. This is a policy that just makes sense. Okay.
Weird. I mean, I know that they're like one of the first major libraries on the East Coast to do this, but a lot of other libraries across the country are following suit. But it seems like it's a part of a trend where you don't have to have accountability. You don't have to be a responsible human functioning adult. I mean, we used to have to get the library books back. There was a rule about that. And I always used to panic. I'd make sure my email alerts came through so I knew when it was due. I'd walk around with the receipt so I got everything back.
Well, also, if there's a CD or a book that you really want, and not you or me or Glenn, of course.
None of us would do this. But
a more nefarious character would
there's
just
lots of
say,
those.
all right, I'm going to just take it out, and I'm going to keep it for maybe 40 or 50 years.
Right. I don't understand.
So
they can have it back when I die. Because you said they have a really good LP collection, which I didn't even know.
They have an incredible CD collection, and then on their, I believe it's their third floor, they have records going back to the 30s and 40s and 50s. Incredible collection. Maybe
there's different rules for the special stuff. You would hope.
Perhaps.
Maybe there is, because that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Maybe we're just not very trusting people.
Well, I'm glad they are. It's wonderful.
Know. Well, that's
and
great.
Maybe it will help them, because we're now living in an age when people don't like to pay for stuff.
No.
We know that.
No. But also, they could just go the book thing and keep things if they didn't want to go to the library.
There's always the book thing.
The book thing, which I love. So that's great news for both the Pratt and Everyman. So congratulations to them. Before we get to the J word, I want to tease our upcoming event. J-Biz, J-More's Special Jewish Entrepreneurship Issue, will be out on stands next week. You can get a sneak peek at jmoreliving.com/jbiz. And you can get tickets to our June 13th professional networking event at jmoreliving.com/jbiztix, T-I-X. Ken Ullman will be moderating a panel discussion at the event, and he will be here with us on June 12th at 12:30. That's next Tuesday. So tune in and let him know if there are specific topics you'd like the panel to discuss.
Right.
And
Ken, of course, is the former Howard County executive and was a candidate for lieutenant governor a couple years ago. So he's, and now, of course, he's running
a company, but I don't know what it is.
It's through, I think, College Park, I think.
Oh, right. He's
like
something with, yes. Because I think Yeah. Well, anyway,
and
we'll
tell
learn
some
more
too.
about Ken
Yeah,
next
he'll
week.
tell us
He'll
next week.
tell us everything. Let's do J word and get back to work.
Okay. Well, the J word of the day is verschadet.
Verschadet.
Yiddish means dizzy, stunned, smitten. She was verschadet when her cute classmate asked if he could copy her notes. All right.
I wish someone was verschadet for me. Come on, let's be verschadet. Remember to join us here Facebook Live Tuesdays at 12:30 for your Need to Know News Roundup. Don't forget to comment, like, share info at hashtag JMoreNeedToKnow. Go to jmoreliving.com for more news updates. Hang on, by the way, our June politics issue is out on stands now. Pick up a copy.
Good.
Learn about the candidates before the June 26th election. This is your
primaries.
study up guide.
Yep.
We got midterms,
Everything you
people.
wanna know.
Go vote. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.